All right, now that seems like the stream got pushed out to people, I'm gonna send this video in the chat and then pin it so just everybody can know. Yeah. And I'm going to, in this stream, which will be the last piece of content I make on here, just explain what happened. Obviously, like, not everybody is in the Discord. Not everybody may have seen the community post I made. Not everybody might even know what the hell this stream is about. So I'm going to explain what happened, because everybody does deserve to know. And just straight up, without any sugarcoating it, no context at all, I talked sexually on Discord to someone who was 16, and I knew they were 16. I knowingly talked inappropriately to a minor. And there is no justifying that shit. There is no excuses for that. There is no... That's what happened. And I'm not going to be here on this stream trying to clear my name. I'm not going to be trying to do whatever. I'm just going to explain what happened, my side of the story. And by the way, by explaining my side of the story, I'm not trying to make myself look better. I'm not trying to do anything like that. I'm just going to do it just so that people can know. And then I'm going to disappear from the internet. And I'll kind of talk about that after. But I think I'm gonna open up paint.net just so that I can, like, you'll see why, just so this can explain to help me, like, kind of. Okay, let me try to do this just so that I can here, let me do this. Hold on. Okay, that does not work. Oh, okay, there. All right, I wanted to go in paint.net just so that I can, like, kind of illustrate what I'm going to say and leave it on the screen just so it's easier to see. So I'm going to leave out the names of the people who are involved because that's what they did in the video. I think I'm going to use fake names just so that it's easier. Instead of saying person blank person, I think I'm just going to I'm going to draw fake characters instead of saying the real names. I know this seems kind of fucking silly, but just so that I can explain a bit easier. Okay, so this is the victim. I'll just refer to them as the victim. And move them over here. And then I'll call this guy Brian. Brian's gonna have a little bit longer hair. And then this guy's gonna be called Alex. And he's gonna have shorter hair. Okay. So these are not real names. These are not real names. This is just for the ease of explaining what happened. I'm gonna explain, I'm gonna explain the situation. So again, I just want to repeat, when I'm explaining this, I'm not trying to in any way make myself sound better. I'm in the fucking wrong here. I did the wrong thing. I full on did the wrong thing. All the negative shit, all the memes people are making, all whatever anybody has to say, they're justified in saying it. There's no excuse for what I did. Straight up. So this is the situation. Let me okay. So I'll just get into it. So to tell you a little bit about me personally, I have a routine. I wake up, I work out, I eat my breakfast, do whatever I need to do, and then I get on the computer, I do work. And by work, I mean work on the videos, I write, I build the map, I edit, I do whatever it is, that I need to do at that point. If I'm done writing, whatever, that doesn't matter. And then I get off at 7 p.m. I go make my dinner, and then I go to sleep. That's that's it. And I got into this kind of I kind of went into this I kind of like started going down into like a low point, and instead of getting off at 7 p.m. I would start to get off at like 7:30. This is kind of how it started. And I started playing Pressure. This game Pressure came out, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and I would stay up playing Pressure with the guys in the trap spot, and we would get on every single day. So instead of like going to work now, it started off with me just like I'd stay on until 7:30. I'd do work for the entire day, then I would get off and play a little bit of Pressure, then go to sleep. Then I would get on the next day, go to work. I'd stop working a little bit earlier, and I'd start staying on a little bit later and playing Pressure. And then eventually it turned into me just staying on the entire time. Like I would get on and I would just play games. I would just play games all day. And eventually I stopped working out. I stopped even working on videos, and it just became me playing games. And in the Discord, there is the Victim and Brian. So Brian and the Victim are in a relationship together. To my knowledge, they're in a relationship together, and to my knowledge, they're both 19. Alex is not really involved in this yet. So Brian, a couple of months earlier, just for context, by the way, he sent this message in the chat and was like, I'm going to be, a little inactive, guys. I'm going through some personal stuff. And he just kind of left. So Brian was not active at this time, but the Victim was. And the Victim was one of the people who would join the calls with us when we were playing Pressure a lot. So and prior to this, I didn't know really anything about the Victim. I didn't know anything about this person. It was kind of just this person that was in the Discord. I would interact with them like here and there. I just recently asked them to voice act in a video. They kind of just were someone who was there in the Discord, but I didn't know anything about them. I didn't really talk to them ever personally. The only time we really interacted was, if I was in the lounge, the public call, and there was other people in there, I would be in there too. She'd be in there. I might like interact with her like a few times. Sometimes we'd play games on Roblox. Like she might join me on Roblox. But other than that, like that, just for context, like we were pretty much like strangers to each other. It was very much more just like a, like I don't even know. She was just like a regular person in the Discord, kind of like Brian. Like I was not close with Brian either, but I had my friends in the trap spot who were my close personal friends, and then there was everyone else in the server, like the main chattians and the random people, and I'm not really close to them at all. That's kind of how I was with this person. But anyways, that's just, providing a little bit of context. The Victim started playing games in the call with us a lot more, and this kind of became the routine. this kind of became the routine. Instead of getting on to work out and do work or whatever, I would just get on and play games all day. And every single day, I'm kind of just playing games. I'm playing pressure in the call with everyone. And there's like this group that's forming, you know? My friends in the trap spot are there. The victim is there. Some of the main chatting is there. Alex shows up some of the times. And we kind of have this little group and we're just all playing games every day. Then one day, when we're playing games, Brian makes a group chat. Brian makes a group chat with me and Alex in it. And it's just me and Alex in this group chat. Nobody else, nobody even knows. Because Brian previously, like months before, went inactive. He sent a message in the server and said he's going inactive. And, you know, nobody ever heard from Brian again, except like close personal friends. So this was like kind of random. He just came out of nowhere. And he comes and makes a group chat with me and Alex in it and says, I need to talk to you guys. And so we go into the group chat and Brian basically explains to me and Alex that the victim broke up with him. She left him. They're not together anymore. And he sees that she's more active in the server now, is hanging out with us. And he doesn't feel comfortable being in the server anymore because that's his ex-girlfriend. And he wants to leave. Like that's what he came to tell us. He's telling us that he's planning on leaving. And I remember telling Brian, like, man, this person, like, she's not really my friend. She's just kind of a person that hangs out around us. If you want, I can ban her. Like, we can ban her because you were here first. And like, this shouldn't be what's happening right now. But he was insistent on saying, like, no, I don't want to get in the way of her happiness. I want like her to have fun in the server and not get in the way in that. I'm just going to leave and focus on my stuff, focus on my life, focus on my work in the gym and all that stuff. So that was pretty much what he told us. But at some point, I don't remember how it got to this, but either me or Alex, somebody brought up the conversation, the topic of catfishing. And we asked him, do you think the victim was a catfish? And Brian got really upset. And he was like, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. I didn't want this to go there, man. I thought like I was just going to leave. My plan was I was going to talk to you guys. I was going to leave and that's it. And we just kept like asking him for more information though. And we're like, no, but like, have you ever video called her? Like, how do you know that she wasn't a catfish? You ever video call her? And he started bringing up how he was suspicious that she might have been a catfish. And he sent this picture. He was like, she sent me this picture one time to prove that she wasn't a catfish. And we're like, okay, let's see it. And it was a picture of the girl she was catfishing as. And it was like blatantly fake. Like very obviously just not real. And so now, like, we're in this weird ass fucking situation where we're like, bro, you're being catfished. Like, what the fuck? Like, confront her on this. We were both telling him, like, you should confront her about this. But I think he wanted to wait until he got more information or something. And so basically, Alex and I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. And again, for people who might be joining late, by the way, I'm not trying to at all put the blame on anybody else other than myself. I'm just explaining what happened, just so you guys know. I'm just explaining everything. This is exactly as it happened, as best as I can remember. I'm not sugarcoating shit. I'm not leaving shit out. This is exactly what happened. And this story does not make me look better in any single way. This is absolutely my fault, everything that happened. So Alex and I start talking to each other and we're like, dude, this is fucking weird. Like, what do we do? We know this shit about the victim now. Like, she's a catfish. What are we going to do? And I told him, just let's go into the call and we'll just keep playing games and just be cool. And that's what we did. And it basically started this really unhealthy routine where I'd be in the call playing games with the victim and everyone else in the group, and then later in the day I'd go in the group chat with Alex and Brian, and we'd basically be doing an entire investigation on this girl. We would basically do an entire investigation on this girl. And it was really fucking weird because at the same time, you know, we're playing games, being all friendly, but then on the other hand, we're in a group chat, like literally digging into her personal shit, finding things out about her, and we're trying to find we're like reverse image searching the picture of the girl, trying to find out if she's a real person or not, and nothing is coming up. And eventually, or no, I'm leaving stuff out. So this is happening. This whole investigation is happening. But while this is happening, the victim and I are getting closer. We start to get closer. And at this point, I don't know her real age yet, but that doesn't matter. That does not matter. That is not a good thing because the sexual talk did not start yet. It didn't start yet. So it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to say like, oh, she lied to me, I didn't know. That's not what I'm trying to say. At this point, I still think that she is 19. I don't know her real age yet. And we're talking and getting closer in the calls. And she's opening up to me about more stuff. Like she even opens up to me about her relationship with Brian and starts talking about like more and more personal things to me. All while this is happening, Alex, Brian, and I, we're still in the group chat. We're still investigating this girl. And it's just weird, you know? Then eventually Alex, he finds the victim's real identity. Alex looked through one of her friends, mutual friends on Instagram, and found her real Instagram. And in the bio of the real Instagram, we could tell it was her because the name looked the exact same. It was like the same type of typing style as her Discord name, but her name wasn't the same name as her Discord name. Like she was using a fake name. She was not only lying about her age and her face, but also her name. So we weren't sure, like, is this the real person? Because it's a person with a different name, but it looks exactly like her typing style. And in the bio of her Instagram was the school that she went to in 2026. And we looked it up. And if the year you graduate is 2026, that basically means you're 15 or 16. And we were all just like, fuck, dude. Because if that's the case, then, dude, this whole entire time, like, he got catfished by, like, that's fucked. And we were just like, we wanted to prove it though. We wanted to find more information. So Brian didn't confront her yet, but they kept investigating. We all kept investigating and couldn't find anything. And after a while, I think we just tried to tell him, like, Brian, you need to, you need to confront her. We started giving him more confidence to, like, finally confront her with this shit. And by the way, for people who don't know, I am 22 years old. I'm 22 years old. I just thought I should add that in there. And the victim and I, like I said, we're getting closer into the calls. And in the calls, I know her real age. She doesn't know that I know her real age, but I know her real age. So at this point, there is no justifying this shit. You know, I see people saying some things like, oh, you didn't know her age. That is not true. I knew her real age. I'm in the wrong. I knew her real age at this point. And in the calls, sometimes before other people got on and it was just her and I on the call, the conversation would, it would just turn inappropriate. It would turn sexual. We would start to talk about shit that is not appropriate to fucking talk about. She would come up to me sometimes. And again, I'm trying to be really careful with how I say this because I don't want to make it seem like I'm blaming the victim, which I am not trying to do, but I'm dead ass explaining exactly what happened. And I hope you guys don't take this as me trying to blame her because this is not me doing that. At the end of the day, I'm the fucking adult in this situation. I should have had the wherewithal to make the right decision, and I fucking didn't. I didn't. So that's that. And but in the calls, she would come up to me and say freaky shit, like absolutely freaky shit. And instead of just being like, don't say that to me, or let's not talk like that, I would entertain those things. And I would respond back to her and say other shit. And that's kind of how it started. This is before we had each other added on Discord. Then eventually we did just add each other on Discord because we were getting closer and closer. And it was like, this is weird. We're talking like this in the trap spot. We should have, not been talking like that in the first place. But at the time, how I was thinking, I can't even tell you what I was thinking. I was thinking like a fucking idiot. Any logical thinking, any like whatever critical thinking, smart, logical brain shit that goes on when you're making a bad decision, I ignored it. I just didn't make the right decision. I don't know what else to say. I was just being a fucking idiot. And sometimes it was her who started the conversations. Sometimes it was me. But, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I was the adult. I should have done the right fucking thing. And we started, to talk more intimately. And then eventually I just wanted to add her because it's like, obviously, I shouldn't have been talking to her like this in the first place. But at the time I was like, well, we got to add each other because we can't be talking like this in the public call. This is kind of weird. So I added her. And then I think like the next day or the same day I added her, Brian finally confronted the victim. And was like, I know all of this stuff about you. And the victim admitted everything. She basically confirmed that she is a catfish and that she is a minor. But she lied at first and said she was only 17, which doesn't make it any better. But this is just the truth. I'm explaining every single thing. I hope you guys understand that. I'm not trying to make myself look any better. I'm not trying to do anything like that. This is exactly what happened. At first, she said she was 17. So we just thought that. We thought, damn, like, fuck, she was lying this whole time. She's really 17 and she looks like this different person. And it was all weird. And at that moment, what I should have done was just ban her from the server. Like, that should have been the appropriate, responsible thing to do. She should have just been fucking banned from the server. It should have just been the end. But that is not what happened. And we stayed in contact. We stayed friends. And Brian and her no longer kept contact. The victim and Alex, we're still like, she's still in the group. Like how I said at the beginning, how we're all playing games together. We just went back to playing games like normal. And kind of didn't really talk about this. And that's just what happened. And our conversations were kind of just like normal. We didn't really talk about really anything. But then this one day happened. Where she tried to send me a fake picture of like someone with really muscular legs and say that it was her. And I asked her, like, are you sure you want to tell me that is you? And then she admitted then she was a catfish. She basically admitted to me she was a catfish. I was like, no, I'm not going to try to convince you. I'm lying. She admitted to me she was a catfish, but she didn't admit her real age, which didn't matter because I knew her real age, but she didn't know that I knew it. So I was being really manipulative, pretending like I didn't know shit, even though I did, which is even worse. And we just got a lot closer after that because she admitted like all this stuff about like the reason why she would catfish, why she feels the need to protect herself. And we got closer. And then eventually, one of the days that we were calling, I'd sent this picture of myself. It was just a regular picture of me, nothing fucking sexual, but a regular picture of myself, like one that was on my Instagram. And she started like kind of like giving me compliments, started We started like flirting with each other, and then eventually just escalated into full on, like, now we're just talking sexually. And after that day, I felt like absolute fucking shit about myself, because I know in my head that she is a minor. She doesn't know that I know that. She still thinks that I think she's 19. It's this whole fucking weird ass situation. Now you can see how much of an absolute weird fuck that I am. But that's what happened. That's what I did. And after that day, I basically had this conversation with her, and I told her, like, you know, this is fucked up, man. Like, you're Brian's ex-girlfriend. You guys just broke up like 2 months ago. And on top of that, I don't even know your real age, which I was lying. I did know her real age. But then she admitted to me, basically, okay, fine. Like, this is my real age. And she even sent me a fake driver's license, which is like kind of crazy. I don't know how the fuck she got someone's driver, but she sent me a fake driver's license. And it seemed real because it wasn't like a screenshot. It was like actually somebody holding it. She sent me a fake driver's license with like all the information blocked out and only the date of birth. So I actually did believe she was 17, which doesn't make it okay because that's still against the law. That's still underage. And we still kept talking. We kept talking. I told her, like, okay, we can't talk like that sexually anymore, but we can keep, you know, we'll just keep talking, man. No, I actually unadded her, and Brian can even attest to that. I went to Brian and Alex and told them, like, I unadded her because, like, I didn't tell them the reason why, because I didn't want to admit that shit to them, because I was ashamed and it was disgusting and obviously incriminating. But I went and told them, like, I unadded her, and they didn't know the real reason why. But the victim, she got really upset and like started like posting like this kind of like really strange like emo stuff on her profile. And then Brian, this is not Brian's fault either, but he started like kind of convincing me. He's like, you should go talk to her, man. Like, she really trusts you. She like, she thinks of you as a good friend. Like, you should talk to her. She's not feeling good. And then after that I did, which is not Brian's fault. This whole situation is my fault for even existing in the fucking first place. So I'm just explaining what actually happened. So I go back to the victim. We become friends again. And we start talking normally. And then eventually, I fucking fold. I folded. No other way to say it. I folded. We started talking sexually again. And then what happened, the first time it happens again, I tell her, you know, we got to stop talking like this. This is wrong. And this basically happens over and over and over again, like on and off. We have like these moments where like we're just talking like super dirty. Sometimes it will last like days or like one night. And then I'm like, fuck, we got to stop talking like this. This is fucking weird. And we just stop talking like that altogether. Sometimes we unite each other. Then we come back to talking to each other. And this just happens over and over. And it's just not fucking good. It's a horrible situation. And all while this is happening, nobody knows. Nobody knows. I'm basically lying to everyone around me. And I'm feeling like shit every single fucking day. And finally, I don't know what happens, but the victim eventually came to me and we were having some kind of conversation, and she was talking to me like, you know, I really trust you a lot, and just being like earnest and real. And I felt really fucking shitty, really guilty, because she shouldn't trust me. I've been manipulating her this whole time. And so I just finally got it off my chest and admitted to her, like, you know how Brian came to you and confronted you with all your information? I'm the one that helped him find that information, and so did Alex. And I told the victim the truth. So now all of this becomes, everyone knows everything. The victim knows that about the group chat, and I told Alex and Brian that I told her. So everybody knows now. All the people who were involved in this initially, they know. So it's this little circle of like weird shit that's going on. Everybody knows. And in that moment, she tells me, well, if you're going to tell me the truth about that, then I guess I'll tell you my real age. And she told me she was 16, which fucking destroyed me. I don't know why. Like, you think fucking that is what fucked you up. She was still a minor before. You're right. I don't know why, but when she told me she was 16 and not 17, that like it just sobered me, and it finally made me realize like the gravity of what I was doing. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude, like, what am I doing? And After that day, we stopped talking sexually. Like, I told her, like, we are done talking like this. I was originally planning to just ban her from the Discord, which I should have done. I should have just unadded her. I should have just done all of that. But I just didn't. I folded. Another example of how I fucking folded. And in the video that A-Rock made that I have pinned in the chat right now, I know he put like a lie detector sound effect and a screenshot of me talking sexually to her, saying I was lying about how we stopped talking after I found out she was 16. But that is not true. We did stop talking after I found out she was 16. But obviously, that happened in a voice call. So there'd be no screenshot of me saying that. And like, if you were to look at all of our messages, though, all of the messages from that call up until when we stopped talking, there was never another like sexual interaction like that again. That doesn't make it fucking okay. That doesn't make it any better. But that is the truth. So we keep talking for a little while. It's definitely like we're less close now. We're talking less now because I just feel really guilty. I feel really fucking ashamed like every single day. And I feel like, you know, I'm going to get caught, which I deserve to be caught because I'm doing weird shit. And eventually, one of my friends, who I will say his name because he's in the video and his name isn't blurred out. So I know he kind of doesn't care. But my friend Flippo, now this is where we're gonna introduce new character. All right, let me just type it. So my friend Flippo, I'm in the trap spot. This is how it happened from my perspective. I don't know what actually happened, like what happened behind the scenes, if Brian and Flippo were talking like long before this, but this is what happened from my perspective. Flippo, randomly one day, when it's just me and him in the trap spot, he asked me, he's like, yo, dude, what's going on with you and the victim? And dude, that made my stomach fucking drop. That made me feel like absolute shit because obviously I know what I'm doing. I'm fully aware of what I'm doing. I'm talking to this girl. She's a fucking minor. And then Flippo asked me that, but he doesn't know. To my knowledge, Flippo doesn't know what Brian and Alex know. Flippo is just like someone on the outside. He doesn't know this stuff. So Flippo asked me that. It made me like nearly shit myself. I felt actually sick to my stomach. And I lied to my friend. I lied to my own friend Flippo. And I told him that there's nothing going on with us and we're just friends. And then that was the end of that. And then immediately after that call, I felt like so sick. I felt so upset. And I knew what I did was fucking wrong. So I immediately went to Alex and Brian. I went in the group chat and I just told them everything. I told them the truth, which was so tough to do because I'm basically admitting to my friend, I'm talking to your ex-girlfriend. And then also, I'm talking to a fucking minor. I went and admitted to them all of the stuff that I was doing, and I didn't leave anything out. I told them how the victim and I talked. I told them everything. And at the time, I'm sure they were just like lying to play me because they were like probably planning on doing this to like, you know, expose me or whatever. But at the time, they were like acting like they're on my side, and they were like, "Yeah, you're good, man. Like, this stuff happens, man. Like, we don't hold it against you." And that was the conversation. I basically told them the truth, and then I told the victim that I told them that. And at this time, now I actually cut off the victim. Now I actually cut her off. I blocked her. I banned her from the server. I completely just cut her out because I realized, like, dude, what I was doing was fucking absolutely disgusting, weird as shit, and wrong. And I should have done that such a long time ago. She shouldn't have even been allowed to be in the server, man. When we found out like the truth about her, the moment I found out the truth about her, it should have just been fuck, man. Like that should have just, I made all of the wrong decisions in the situation, man. And I can't take it back. I fucked up. But the situation isn't over, obviously, because we're here right now and I'm streaming. So how did this happen? Basically, last night, I get a message from Flippo. Flippo comes to me and he's like, "Yo, bro, do you want a VC?" And that's when the call that you see in the pin message in the video, that's the call. That happened last night. Flippo, he did the right thing. And I'm not upset at anybody. I can only be upset at myself, man. I'm not upset at anybody who was my friend, anybody who was around me. They did the right thing. He recorded the call. A-Rock made a video and they sent it to like everybody I know. Everybody I know. And that's why we're here right now. And that video that is pinned, that's the video that we're talking about. So that's the whole situation. That's everything that happened. And there's no justifying it. There's no fucking excuse for any of the shit I did. And it sucks. It's disgusting. You know, people ask me why. It's not like I woke up one day and was like, all right, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go get her. Like, it's not like I was fucking like just planned. This is all part of my evil maniacal plan. It was like this weird situation happened. This weird situation happened where like all of these events just kind of like fell right into the right place. And I like saw what was happening and I manipulated the situation and took advantage of it. And it was disgusting. Like it just kind of just weird, wrong place, wrong fucking time. Like just weird as shit, man. Weird as shit. But that's what happened, and there's not really much else to say about that. That's the end of that. But I guess like the last thing I wanted to say is you know, you see a lot of you see this a lot, you know, situations like the exact same one I'm in, where like Minecraft YouTubers or Roblox YouTubers in particular are getting exposed. Like you see all those memes about like Minecraft YouTubers becoming predators and stuff like that. And I just want to put my 2 cents into like why I think that happens and like awareness for people. Like this YouTube shit, I started doing this when I was like a kid, right? I started doing this when I was a kid, and obviously now I'm an adult. But the thing is, kids still watch me, young people still watch me, and I'm basically a fucking adult who is the owner of a Discord server that is filled with young people. That's fucking weird. Weird as shit, regardless of if I was doing anything wrong. It's fucking weird. And you could see why it happens so much, especially in those communities. So I guess if what I'm trying to say is if you are someone who's a young kid, who's a minor watching shit, watching Roblox YouTubers, watching Minecraft YouTubers, and they're like way older than you, older than like an adult, probably just don't go on to fucking their server. Don't join Discord server. Discord is a shithole. You got people like fucking me that exist. And I don't want to be on it anymore. I don't want to fucking be a part of that shit. And yeah. It's pretty disgusting, man. That's all there is to it. If you want to record this stream, if you want to download it, whatever, so you can put it up, I advise somebody probably do that. Probably save this, because after I end this, I'm deleting the channel here. My Discord is gone. I deactivated pretty much my account on whatever shit. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Like even before I made this fucking mistake, my time on here is over, man. It was a good run. It was cool. I got to do awesome shit, take ideas that existed only in my head and put them onto a screen. And it was fun, man. It was fun. But that shit is over. And I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry to my friends and the people who I fucking let down, my fans, people who don't like me. Sorry even to those people. I fucked up, man. I made the wrong decisions.